Hey everybody, it's Kyla at the MJC again, and this time I'm here to walk you through the monthly income section of the financial disclosure document. But before we get started, as always, I just want to remind you guys that nothing in this video is intended to be legal advice. It's obviously a video, so I'm not able to analyze your specific situation and to let you know whether what you're doing is in your best interest, whether a court is going to approve what you're asking for, or things like that. So if you have questions along those lines, then we would definitely recommend that you talk to an attorney. You can talk to an attorney for free here in Milwaukee, or at least get brief legal advice through the Marquette Volunteer Legal Clinics. If you aren't located in Milwaukee County, then we would recommend talking to your clerk of court to find out what resources are available in your area. All right, great. So let's hop into this monthly income section. So the first part of the monthly income section is pretty easy. You're just going to indicate how often you receive your income. So if you are paid, if you have a job, how often those wages come in. So weekly, every week. Every other week is if you receive it like every other Friday or something like that. Monthly is obviously if you receive your income just one time a month. And twice a month is if you get your income on set days during the month. So if you get it on, say, the 15th and the 30th, or the 1st and the 15th, or anything like that. So you'll just check the one that applies to you. If you don't have income from wages, but you do have it from Social Security, or if you receive food share or something like that, you'll check how often you receive that. And for many programs that aren't wages, that's just going to be monthly. But here I'm going to check weekly because I know that for our sample case for Jane Doe, her income is weekly. So next you're going to go to this gross monthly income section. This is if you receive any wages, so anything from salary, from an hourly job, from commissions, overtime, anything like that. And for most people, you're going to be able to find that information on a pay stub. So you can just pull up your pay stub. Here I've got a sample one, and you can look under gross earnings for that current rate, and you'll find how much. So for Jane Doe, again, that is $800. And then you'll just go back to your form, and then you'll see up here, so we don't enter that 800 here because remember, Jane gets paid weekly. So we're going to go up to whichever box we checked, and we're going to see what number they want us to multiply the number from our pay stub by to be able to get the monthly amount, or an estimate of the monthly amount. So here, if it's weekly, 4.3. Again, if you were over here under every other week, you would multiply by 2.17. If you were twice a month, you would multiply by 2, and monthly, you would just put the number. So in Jane's situation, hers is weekly, so she's going to do it that 4.33. So we're going to take 800, her gross income from that pay stub, times 4.33. And remember, if you're paid some way other than weekly, do it by the amount that your multiplier says to do it by. So that's 34.64 for Jane, and that's what we're going to put in this line. All right, so that is the wages section. If you don't have wages, just go ahead and put 0 on that line. If you don't have a pay stub, so if you are paid cash or something, if possible, you want to get a pay statement from your job. But if that's not possible, you can calculate your what you believe your gross income is. So you could take like your hourly, how much you're paid hourly times the number of hours you worked. Those sorts of things. So that's going to be the wages section. Next, you're going to put in any pensions or retirement that you receive. And again, this is what you receive, not what you pay into something. And we're going to put a 0 there because Jane doesn't receive retirement income yet. Do note that we did put in a 0. Don't leave the lines blank if you don't have it. You'll want to put in a 0. On the next line, you'll put in any Social Security benefits that you receive for yourself. At least here at the MJC, we typically don't list Social Security that you receive on behalf of someone else. So if you get it for the benefit of your child or something, we typically do that as an other source of income. Disability or unemployment, we'll put, again, how much you receive here. If you get Social Security disability, we normally list that under number 3, and then consider number 4 to be disability other than Social Security. Public assistance, the most common public assistance that we see through our clinics is food share. So you'll list what that number is. So let's say Jane gets $150 in food share per month. That's what we would put in this line. And do note, I didn't multiply that by this 4.33 or by these numbers because that amount is already reported monthly, so we don't need to calculate it at all. Here, if you have any interest or dividends from stocks or anything like that. Here, if you have any child support you received from a prior relationship. So not if it's in this current case, if you have a temporary order or something, we're not including that. This is just from a prior relationship. This next line is if you receive any rental payment. So if you are a landlord and you have somebody paying you rent, or you own part of a duplex or something like that, you'd put that amount in this line. 9 would be where you'd put any bonuses that you receive. And then other sources of income would be if you have income from any source other than all the ones we listed here. If you have a family member who's loaning you money to help pay your bills, if you have, like we mentioned before, if you receive Social Security on behalf of a minor child, you're just going to describe whatever your income is in this box. So social, or I guess instead of Social Security, I'll put the type. So I'll say SSI on, and it should be on, not of. Susie Smith. So you can see you can just kind of describe what it is, and then here put how much that is per month, whatever that number may be. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add all of these numbers together and put them in that bottom line there. So we're going to take that, we're going to add the food share amount and the amount for the minor child, and we end up here. And it's going to be 4114, I think. Yep, 4114. That amount there. And then I'm just going to add in the dollar sign there. So on this line, you're going to put, okay, we've got what your pay is, but now we're going to do the deductions because this is your gross pay, obviously. And there are going to be tax deductions and things taken out of that. So here, number of exemptions claimed. This is just on your taxes for the last year, how many exemptions you claimed, whatever that number will be. We'll say Jane had 2 exemptions. If you're not sure what your exemptions are, then we would just say leave that line blank. But ideally, if you can find them, you do want to fill that in. Here, as far as the withholdings, we're going to go back to our handy-dandy pay stub for anyone who has pay stubs. If you don't have pay stubs, then you'll want to look at the statement for whatever income you receive. If things are automatically withheld from that, they're going to go in this section. If your income, like let's say the only income Jane had coming in right now was food share, if there aren't any taxes taken out of that, she might not have any withholdings, and you would just put zeros down the line here. But I'll go ahead and go through it for anyone who may have withholdings and those sorts of things. So you'll go back to your pay stub, and you can see the withholdings over here. So for the federal tax, you can see you have the total for this pay period and the year-to-date total. We want the total for this pay period. So the federal, 10810, and we go back to our form. And then remember, just like we did with the income, we have to multiply by whatever our multiplier is. So for Jane, it's going to be 4.33, but if yours is bi-weekly or semi-monthly or whatever, it could be one of those. All right, so it's going to be 10810, and we'll pull out the calculator again, times 4.33. And we go ahead and 468.07, and you can round if you, if you want there. I just cut off at the number, but you could round if you'd prefer to round. And we're just going to go back here, and we're going to check the state. The state is 40, and so same thing. I'm going to multiply it by whatever multiplier I've been using. In our case, it is that 4.33, but if you were using one of the other multipliers, be sure and use that one. And just put that amount in there. We will go to Social Security. Social Security can show up as a bunch of different things. Sometimes it's going to be FICA, sometimes it'll be SS, sometimes it'll be listed as OASDI on your pay stub. So you'll want to go through and find whatever Social Security is listed at for your particular situation. So 4960. And again, got to multiply it by that number, that multiplier that you've been using. For us, it's been 4.33. For you, it's going to be whatever it is based on your, and it was 214. 214 and some change, 214.76. But again, make sure you're using the multiplier for your income. So however you are paid. And then last but not least, that Medicare number. So again, in our sample one, Med, FICA Med, whatever it's listed as, 1160. So we'll go back here. And that's 5022. Great, so we've got that there. Here under medical insurance, you can see in our sample pay stub, Jane doesn't have any other withholdings that we need to list, but for a lot of folks, you may have insurance that comes automatically out of your check. So make sure this is if you have health insurance where they just deduct it automatically from your check. So not if you pay for it after you receive the money in your bank account or whatever, but if they just take it out before you even receive the money, that's going to go here. But again, for Jane, that's 0. Other insurances is if you have dental or vision or accidental health or any other sort of insurance, again, that is automatically pulled from your check. And we're just chugging through these. If you have union or other dues, again, that come automatically out of your check, you'll put them there. If you're paying into a 401k or a 403b or an IRA or any sort of thing through your employer, again, where it comes automatically out of your check, then you'll go ahead and put that amount here, and you would see it on your pay stub if it's coming out, because this is things that are, again, coming out before the money even gets to you. So it's not like if you have an auto payment set up on your bank account, that wouldn't be it. Savings plan, if you have that, if you have credit union there, if you have child support that again is automatically garnished from your wages, you'll write that amount here. If you have a child support amount that is going that you have to like send in by paper check to the child support office, then that will go on a different line. So this is only child support that's automatically being garnished from your check. Here, if you have any other deductions, you can specify what those are. So again, anything else that is being automatically pulled from your check. Some that we see sometimes, if you have a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, often that Chapter 13 payment is another deduction, or if you're being garnished. And again, you would just put however much that is per month on that line. So description and how much it is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add up all of these deductions. So that is going to be our 468.07 plus 173.20 plus 214.76 plus 50.22 plus the Chapter 13 payment I listed. And again, any of these would be listed on the pay stub. I know the 13 wasn't on the sample pay stub I used because obviously that was just a sample. All right, so then here, and I should have looked at the number first, it's going to be 1106.25, so we'll put that here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your gross income from up here for 114 minus your deductions from down here, and that gives us $3,775. And that gives you your net income. All right. Whew, so there was a lot of math in this section, but that is the monthly income section. And that's all for this. All right. So I will be back shortly with another video on the expenses section and the other sections of the financial disclosure. But for now, I hope that this was helpful for you. If it wasn't, that is unfortunate. But if you need more assistance, you can definitely come into the MJC located in room G9 of the Milwaukee County Courthouse to get more help. Otherwise, good luck going forward. I hope you all go out and represent yourselves well.